Welcome back to Movie Division. We will recap the latest movie. Title Sinner, spoiler alert. Watch out. In the heart of Clarksdale, Mississippi, during the fall of 1932, two brothers, Elijah and Elias Moore, better known as Smoke and Stack, returned to their hometown after spending 7 years in Chicago. The twins are no strangers to trouble, having built a reputation as cunning and resourceful gangsters. Their return to Clarksdale is not just a homecoming, but the start of a bold new venture. They've stolen money from dangerous gangsters in Chicago, rumored to be connected to Al Capone himself, and used it to purchase an old sawmill from Hogwood, a man with a dark past as a former Klansman. Their plan? To transform the sawmill into a vibrant juke joint, a place where the black community can gather, celebrate, and find solace in music during the harsh realities of the Great Depression. The brothers are determined to make their dream a reality, but their journey is far from smooth. Smoke, the more pragmatic and hardened of the two, takes charge of the logistics. He reconnects with old friends, including Grace Chow, Lee Jun Lee, and her husband Bo, Yao, who help with creating signs and other essentials for the juke joint's opening night. Smoke's no-nonsense attitude is evident when he catches two young men attempting to rob his truck full of alcohol. To send a clear message, he shoots one in the leg and the other in the backside, establishing that he means business. Meanwhile, Stack, the more idealistic and charismatic brother, focuses on recruiting talent and building a team. He convinces their cousin Sammy, Miles Caton, a young and gifted blues musician, to join their venture. Sammy dreams of making it big with his music, and the juke joint offers him a chance to showcase his talent. Stack also seeks out Delta Slim, Delroy Lindo, a legendary blues singer who has fallen on hard times. He finds Slim at the train station and persuades him to join their team by offering him Irish beer, which they plan to sell at the juke joint. Slim's presence adds credibility to their venture, and his performance at the station draws a crowd, creating buzz for the opening night. Along the way, the brothers reconnect with Mary, Haley Steinfeld, a childhood friend and former love interest of Stack. Mary is grieving the recent loss of her mother, who had been like a mother to the twins. She chastises them for not sending their condolences, revealing the emotional distance that has grown between them over the years. As the preparations continue, Smoke visits his estranged wife, Annie, Wumi Mosaku, a woman deeply rooted in voodoo practices. Their relationship has been strained since the loss of their child, a tragedy that drove them apart. Despite their differences, there is still a spark between them, and Annie claims that her voodoo rituals have kept the brothers safe all these years. Their reunion is passionate, and they share an intimate moment, rekindling their connection. The night of the grand opening arrives, and the juke joint is packed with people from the community. The atmosphere is electric, with laughter, dancing, and the soulful sounds of blues music filling the air. Sammy takes the stage, and his performance is nothing short of magical. His music resonates deeply with the audience, evoking emotions and even conjuring visions of black musicians from different eras and cultures. The juke joint seems to transform into a spiritual space where the power of music transcends time and place. However, this extraordinary moment does not go unnoticed. Outside the juke joint, a sinister presence lurks. Remick, an Irish immigrant with a dark secret, arrives with his companions, Bird and Un, to the revelers inside. Remick and his followers are vampires, drawn to the juke joint by the powerful energy of Sammy's music. They approach the entrance posing as musicians who want to join the festivities. Smoke, ever cautious, senses something off about them and denies them entry, despite their offer to pay. Mary, intrigued by the strangers, decides to speak with them herself. She is initially impressed by their musical abilities, but quickly realizes something is wrong when Remick's eyes glow red and he begins to drool. Alarmed, she tries to leave, but Remick attacks her, turning her into a vampire. Meanwhile, inside the juke joint, tensions rise as Smoke deals with a violent patron who slashes another man's face with a razor after being caught cheating at dice. Smoke's leadership and quick thinking keep the situation under control, but the night takes a darker turn when Mary returns, now a vampire. She seduces Stack and bites him, turning him into one of the undead. Smoke discovers them and shoots Mary multiple times, but she survives and flees, vowing revenge. The juke joint descends into chaos as the vampires begin to attack, turning many of the patrons into their own kind. The remaining survivors, Smoke, Sammy, Annie, Grace, Slim, and Pearline, a married woman who had been flirting with Sammy, barricade themselves inside the juke joint. They realize they are dealing with a supernatural threat and prepare to fight back. Annie uses her knowledge of voodoo to create weapons, including steaks and garlic juice, to combat the vampires. The group faces a heartbreaking moment when Cornbread, their security guard, returns as a vampire and tries to attack them. Smoke is forced to shoot him, and Cornbread flees into the night. As the vampires gather outside, Remick reveals his true intentions. He explains that Hogwood, the man who sold the sawmill to the brothers, is the Grand Dragon of the KKK and had planned to use the juke joint as a trap to kill the twins and their patrons. However, Remick and his followers have their own agenda. They are not aligned with the clan's racist ideology and instead seek to use Sammy's musical talents to summon the spirits of their own lost people. Remick offers the survivors a chance to become vampires, promising them immortality and freedom from racial persecution. The group refuses, unwilling to sacrifice their humanity. The final showdown is intense and bloody. Grace sacrifices herself to stop her vampiric husband, Beau, setting them both on fire. Slim lures a group of vampires away by cutting his arm, while Pearline is fatally wounded in front of Sammy. Annie is bitten, and in a moment of bravery, asks Smoke to stake her before she turns. Smoke reluctantly fulfills her request, and her death devastates him. Stack, now a vampire, briefly regains his humanity upon witnessing Annie's death and expresses sorrow before fleeing with Mary. Sammy faces off against Remick outside the juke joint. The vampire claws his face, leaving him scarred, but Sammy uses a silver guitar to stab Remick in the skull. Smoke arrives and stakes Remick through the chest just as the sun rises. The sunlight destroys Remick and the remaining vampires, bringing an end to the nightmare. With the vampires defeated, Smoke prepares for one final battle. Knowing that the clan is on their way, he orders Sammy to leave and protect his music. Smoke stays behind, armed with a Tommy gun and grenades, and takes on the clan single-handedly. He kills Hogwood and the other clansmen, but is mortally wounded in the process. As he dies, he sees the spirits of Annie and their child, finding peace in their reunion. Decades later, in 1992, Sammy is an elderly and celebrated blues musician. After a performance, he is visited by Stack and Mary, who have lived on as vampires. Stack offers to turn Sammy, knowing he is nearing the end of his life, but Sammy declines. He has made peace with his mortality and chooses to embrace the natural course of life. Before they leave, Sammy plays one final song for Stack and Mary, reflecting on the best and worst night of his life. Stack agrees, saying it was the last time he saw his brother and the sun, and the last time he truly felt free. If you enjoyed this recap, please click on the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and tap on the notification bell to get notified on our next fascinating recap. Don't forget to comment on your favorite part of the movie. Thanks for watching.